Do you ever look in the mirror and think, I don't even recognize myself anymore? You've spent so long being who everyone else needed you to be that you've forgotten who you actually are. Life is too short to live as someone you're not. But what if losing yourself isn't the end? What if it's the beginning of God rebuilding you into who you were always meant to be? Identity crises aren't setbacks, they're invitations. Let's talk about 6 signs God is reshaping who you are in this season. Number 1, the mask doesn't fit anymore. You've been playing the part for so long. The good child, the strong friend, the one who has it all together. But lately, keeping up that image feels exhausting. You catch yourself faking smiles, forcing enthusiasm, pretending everything's fine when deep down, you're screaming. The version of you that everyone expects feels like a costume that's 3 sizes too small. That discomfort you're feeling, that's not weakness, that's authenticity trying to break through. God is peeling back the layers of who you pretended to be so He can reveal who you actually are. Psalm 139, verse 14 says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, I know that full well. You weren't created to be a copy, you were created to be an original. When the mask stops fitting, don't force it back on. Let it fall. That's God making room for the real you. Number 2, your priorities are rearranging themselves. Things that used to matter desperately to you suddenly feel empty. The approval you used to chase doesn't hit the same. The achievements you worked so hard for feel hollow when you finally reach them. You're not becoming ungrateful, you're becoming awakened. When God starts rebuilding your identity, He doesn't just change what you want, He changes what you value. Matthew 6:33 says, But seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. You're not losing your ambition, you're gaining His perspective. What once consumed you is now being replaced by what truly matters. Purpose over popularity, peace over performance, presence over perfection. If your priorities feel like they're shifting without your permission, don't fight it. That's not confusion. That's clarity coming. Number 3, you're feeling everything more deeply. Lately, emotions you used to bury are bubbling to the surface. Things that wouldn't have bothered you before now hit you hard. You cry easier. You feel things more intensely. Your heart feels tender, almost raw. Some people might call that sensitivity, but it's actually spiritual awareness. When God rebuilds your identity, He doesn't numb you, He awakens you. Ezekiel 36:26 says, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. A heart of stone protects you from pain, but it also keeps you from authentic connection, real love, true purpose. God is replacing your defenses with discernment, your hardness with wholeness. That tenderness you're feeling, that's not fragility, that's freedom beginning. Number 4, old relationships feel different now. The people you used to spend all your time with suddenly feel off. Conversations that used to flow now feel forced. You find yourself outgrowing friendships that once defined you. And it's confusing because they're not bad people. They're just not your people anymore. That's not you being judgmental. That's you being realigned. When God rebuilds your identity, He also rebuilds your circle. Proverbs 27:17 says, As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Some relationships were only meant for a season. They served their purpose in who you used to be, but they can't carry you into who you're becoming. If you're feeling distance where there used to be closeness, don't force connection out of guilt or history. Trust that God is making room for the people who will recognize, celebrate, and nurture the real you. Number 5. You're discovering parts of yourself you buried. Old dreams are resurfacing. Passions you abandoned are calling you back. Talents you minimized are demanding attention again. You find yourself drawn to things you convinced yourself didn't matter. Things you set aside because they weren't practical, or because someone told you they weren't you. But here's the truth. God doesn't give you desires just to torture you with them. Psalm 37, verse 4 says, "Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." Those dreams coming back, that's not nostalgia, that's restoration. God is bringing back the pieces of you that got lost in the noise of other people's expectations. That hobby you loved as a kid, that career path you talked yourself out of, that creative spark you dimmed to fit in. God is saying, that was me all along. I put that in you for a reason. You're not regressing. You're remembering. Number 6. You're becoming okay with being misunderstood. This one's the hardest, but it's the most important. You used to bend yourself into knots trying to explain yourself, defend yourself, make everyone understand you. But lately, you're realizing you don't owe anyone an explanation for who you're becoming. When people question your changes, you don't feel the need to justify them anymore. That peace in the face of confusion, that's spiritual maturity. Galatians 1:10 says, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." When God rebuilds your identity, He doesn't do it for an audience, He does it for a purpose. And that purpose won't always make sense to the people who only knew the old you. Your job isn't to make them understand. Your job is to stay faithful to the process. Maybe you picked up this video because you felt lost. But what if you're exactly where you need to be? What if God is using this breaking down season to rebuild you stronger, truer, freer than you've ever been? The real you isn't gone. It's just been buried under expectations, trauma, fear, and other people's definitions. So stop apologizing for the changes. Stop fighting the process. Stop trying to go back to who you used to be. That version of you served its purpose.